Okay, so we're going to go over 6.9, number 3, and it's asking for a coterminal angle. It says state a negative angle of rotation that is coterminal with a given angle of rotation. Coterminal angles share the same terminal side of an angle of rotation. Sketch and label both angles. Okay, so a coterminal angle is none other than the angle, like the rest of the angle. Does that make sense? So if we're talking about negative, it would be the rest of that angle to make a circle, right? To make a full circle. Other coterminal angles, if we're not talking about negative, could be what? Give me another name for this one here is 5 pi over 4. So I pretended to graph it right here. What's another name for 5 pi over 4? So here we went this way, right? We went from here. We started at 0. We opened the book up, and that's 5 pi over 4, right? So we're not talking about degrees, but I do like how someone said that. So kind of someone said, Miss Johnson, could we talk about 225 degrees? Kind of, but we're not talking about degrees. Okay. Someone says 13 pi over 8. I understand where the thought is coming from, but I think you check your math. Check your math on that. Okay, so 5 pi over 4 is this guy. So let me talk about negative angles first, because maybe this is the first time that you've ever seen a negative angle. So the negative angle, let me change colors. Let's go in red because red means negative. Number one, we're not opening the book in the counterclockwise direction. We're opening the book this way, right? So coterminal would mean that we would open it up this way, right? No, we're looking for angles, guys. So if this is 5 pi over 4, if this is 5 pi over 4, what would this have to be? If this is 5 pi over 4, what would this have to be? So first of all, it would have to be negative. So negative is part of the answer. And then I want you to think about this whole thing. So what is this whole guy? From here all the way around here. What's this guy? Yeah, it's 2 pi, right? So if this is 2 pi, oops, my sticks are too long, but that's okay. If this is 2 pi and this is 5 pi over 4, what's the rest of it? What's the rest of it? I'll do a story. You want to save $200. Yeah, exactly. You want to save $200 for a new, I don't know. It's not going to be a new phone because phones don't cost that much. But let's just pretend. So you want to save for a new phone and it's $200. Boom. You've already saved $130. I don't know, something like that. How much more or how much are you short? Right? How much are you short? And you're like, oh, well, it's 200 minus 130. I think I said 100 is 70. Exactly. So you're short $70. So the math that we did, and I'll type because writing is horrible. The math that we did is $200 minus $130 equals $70. So in context, we could say that we're $70 short of what we need. If you wanted to, you could have done 130 minus 200, and then that would have given you your negative. Same thing goes here, except what's our whole this time? Our whole isn't 200. What's our whole this time? Yeah, our whole is 2 pi. So the math sentence that I'm going to write is going to be 2 pi minus what? Yeah, 5 pi over 4. And this is how I do the math. I know you guys are like fraction. You guys are geniuses when it comes to fraction, but this is the way I do it. If I bought 2 pizzas and each pizza had 4 slices, that's 8 slices, right? So I got 8 slices of pizza. If I have 8 pi over 4 minus 5 pi over 4, I get 3 pi. Oops, it's supposed to be in red. Sorry, my bad. I get 3 pi over 4, right? So that's this guy. Ms. Johnson, where did the negative come from? Well, if you've been noticing, whenever we talk about angles, we start with the closed book at 0 and we open the book counterclockwise. Whenever we go in the opposite direction, that's exactly what negative means. It's negative. So whenever we go clockwise, it's negative. So is everybody comfortable with negative 3 pi over 4? Good. Now I'm going to make your brain work a little bit harder. Now, what if I said, I want another one. I want another coterminal angle to this. And you're like, you want another one, Ms. Johnson? Yeah, I want another one. Can you come up with another one, Ms. Johnson? Is it possible? Yes, since we are going quote unquote backwards or the opposite way, yeah, it's negative. Very good. Here, I'll give you a hint. Ms. Johnson, how many names does this angle have? A lot. So you are looking at 2 of them right now, the positive version and a negative version. Ms. Johnson, there's a lot of them? Yeah. Watch my mouse. I could go like this. It just means you have to end here. That's all it means, right? Coterminal. It just has to end here. So couldn't you go like... So those of you who saw that, you're getting it, and you're like, oh, I know what you're talking about. So go ahead and show me that. If you don't, just guess. Just guess. Be okay with, guessing. So again, someone asked about what quadrant they're in. So I already know that this is pi, right? This guy here is pi. In terms of 4, a whole pie, if I bought a pie and I cut it into 4 pieces, how many slices do I have to make a whole pie? Well, that'd be 4. So that's 4 pi over 4. And if I compare 4 pi over 4 with 5 pi over 4, do you see how you have an extra slice of pizza? You have an extra slice of pizza. So that means I'm past a full box of pizza and then I have 1 extra slice. Does that make sense? I know some of you got this. What's my answer? Come on. Give it to me. All right. Did you get it? Yeah, very good. And so now, for some of you, you understand why Ms. Johnson says you can have a lot of names for pi. So someone says 13 pi over 4, Ms. Johnson? I don't know. Let's try. Let's try 13 pi over 4. So count with me. This would be 4 pi over 4, yes? How much would this be? 8 pi over 4. How much would this be? 12 pi over 4. Every single time, if you notice, I go a half circle and I get a pi, which makes sense because 180 equals to pi, right? So if this is 12 pi over 4 and I have 1 extra slice of pi, you're right. Another name for this guy is 13 pi over 4. Oh, yeah. Okay, I want another pi. I want another name. Yep, I want one more name. Actually, I don't know. You can come up with a lot of names. And then someone said something about 10 pi over 8, kind of, but no, right? You can't, if you did 10 pi over 8, correct me if I'm wrong, but this would be 8 pi over 8, right? And then this would be 9, 10, 10 pi over 8. Technically, that's the same one as this. So it's not a coterminal angle. That's another name for the same exact angle. Yeah. So what you did is you gave me the equivalent fraction of this. I don't want an equivalent fraction of this. So you took me back to like 5th grade and you said, Miss Johnson, I know another way to say 5/4 in math. Another way to say 5/4 in math. Or you said, what did I say? 10/8. Yeah, 10/8. So I don't want an equivalent fraction. That would give me the same angle, not a coterminal angle. Do you see the difference? Coterminal means I go in a bunch of circles and then I end up here, right? Like literally pretend that you're in a like one of those office chairs and you're spinning, 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 and I stop you and you face here. Okay? That's what I'm asking you for. So generically, see if this makes sense. See if this makes sense. Miss Johnson, I'm just going to add a bunch of 2 pi's to it. Good. How many 2 pi's do you want to add to it? I don't know. Pick a number. N. Okay. So 2 pi n just means a bunch of full circles. So for those of you who watch extreme sports and they're like, oh my gosh, he did a 720. A 720 is 2 full rotations. So dude started facing the basket. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody do this, but let's just pretend. He spun in the air not just once, but twice, and then he dunked the ball. He ended up facing the basket again. He didn't do a reverse dunk. He ended up facing the ball, the basket. Does that make sense? So this means I have a bunch of circles. How many circles? I don't know. Pick a number. Is your favorite number 5? Great. Plug it in. Great. And then I'm just going to add 5 pi over 4 to it. Ta-da! Someone said 21 pi over 4. I don't know. I don't think so. Wait, I don't know. Let's see. 21 pi. 4 pi over 4, 8 pi over 4, 12 pi over 4, 16 pi over 4, 20 pi over 4, 21 pi over 4. Ooh, yeah, you're right. 21 pi over 4. Boom, Miss Johnson. So these are all of them. Miss Johnson, you just wrote all of them? I wrote all of them. Look at you, Miss Johnson. I wrote all of them. So all you'd have to do is say whatever n you want it to be. N has to be a whole number. Okay. It can even be an integer if you wanted, because then that'll take care of this too. Okay. Everybody good on how I wrote all of them? Yeah. This didn't ask you for that, but I wanted to make sure that we covered that in case you forgot it from earlier. So good job, y'all.